From the early 2010s to 2023, three Disney Channel shows reigned supreme: Gravity Falls, Amphibia, and The Owl House. These shows are seen as some of the best shows that Disney has ever put out, the big three of Disney animation, if you will. The sheer love and passion behind them is simply astounding, and they changed the way that a lot of people saw cartoons. Suddenly, they were not just kids shows anymore. They had stories, themes, and amazing characters. I can say that Gravity Falls and Owl House are some of my favorite cartoons ever. But there is one show out of this trio that I have never seen up until this year. And of course, I'd heard amazing things about it. Now you might be asking, if I've watched the other two shows in this trio, why has it taken me so long to get to Amphibia? Well, to be honest with you, I have no idea. I have loved Gravity Falls ever since I was a kid, and I've probably rewatched it like 7 times since I was young. And Owl House cemented itself as one of my favorite cartoons ever since I binged it in 3 days last December. And to be honest with you, I just kind of forgot that Amphibia existed up until recently. You see, Amphibia and Owl House came out long after I had made the switch from normal TV to streaming. So they just flew under my radar for a few years. Up until last December. I was bored and had a lot of free time, so I decided I was going to watch Gravity Falls again. But then I remembered there were 2 other shows that I'd heard people say were as good, if not better, than Gravity Falls. So obviously, I was very intrigued. One was about frogs and one was about owls. So I looked up The Owl House, saw about 2 screenshots, and then started watching it. And then I finished it in 3 days. It was amazing. On that note, I remember being very confused by season 3 only having 3 episodes, until I looked it up and realized that it got hit with the Oppenheimer special because Disney is a shitty company. But I am eternally grateful that it got the chance to conclude the story because it was just really good. After that, I went on with my life, never really thinking about the other show. Up until a few days ago, I was feeling the need to watch some good old animation again, so I started scrolling through Disney Plus and saw a poster for Amphibia. And then it hit me that this was the other show that people said was as good as Gravity Falls and The Owl House. So I decided that I would watch a few episodes and see for myself if it was as good as people said it was. And now 4 days later, I'm done with the show. So yeah, Amphibia is phenomenal. The last 4 days zipped by so fast because all I did in my free time was watch Amphibia. I went to bed thinking about it and woke up wanting to watch it. Now, for those of you who don't know what the show is, let me give you a quick rundown. I don't know why anyone would watch this video if they haven't seen the show, but anyway. Amphibia is about 3 girls who mysteriously get sent to a world of frogs, but they all get teleported to separate places, and the story mainly focuses on Anne with a few episodes about the other girls thrown in here and there. And it follows Anne on her journey as she tries to find her friends and find a way home. And on this journey, she meets the Planters, a family of frogs who take her in and become her new family in this frog world. It has wacky characters, a running mystery, and a similar goofy tone to Gravity Falls. But to me, this show is more than just 3 girls trying to get home. It's about personal growth and how the relationships you choose can change you, for better or worse. Every main character in this show is an example of how the relationships you choose force you to grow into the type of person you are. You can see it in Anne becoming the real version of herself after finding true friendship with Sprig and the Planters. And you can see it in King Andreas. Having a toxic influence can lead you down the wrong path. A path you never wanted to take, but one you're forced down because of the people that surround you. And it's legitimately one of the funniest things I've seen in a long time.
You tried to enslave my hometown, and I violently murdered you that one time.
Yes, you did.
The way the story unfolds is also just really great. I remember when I started watching the show, I was really confused. You see, when I looked up the show, I saw this picture. But then when I started the show, Anne was nowhere to be seen. I thought I might have made a mistake and clicked the wrong episode or something, because I thought the show would start showing us Anne getting teleported to Amphibia. But no, that's not the case. The first episode, Anne is already in Amphibia. And while I found this a bit confusing at first, I quickly grew to love the mystery, and wanted to know what happened to her friends that she talked about. I got so much more invested in the story than I would have been if they just showed us what happened in the beginning of the story. And I think the story definitely benefits from waiting to drop the bombshell in season 2 with Marcy. But I don't think they handled it perfectly, but I will get into that in a second. Another thing I think the show does amazing is the pacing of the plot. You see, season 1 feels very episodic, with what feels like very little connective tissue between them. But that's on purpose, because even though it feels that way, almost every episode shows us something that we'll get called back to later in the series. Like the secret underground caves full of the true history of the Plantar family, Or the Plantar family book having information on the Calamity Box for some weird reason, even though no one else knows anything about it. Or the Bizarre Bazaar, where we get to meet Valeriana for the first time, who turns into an extremely important character. or a blink and you miss it one where the title screen's background is the Calamity Box prophecy we saw at Mother Ohm's cave. I feel like almost every episode probably has something like this, but right now I can't remember it because I haven't done a second watch through. And if you guys have spotted any of these, please let me know in the comments because I absolutely love the foreshadowing that I was able to pick up on. So I would love to see all of the ones that I missed and just be blown away. I also think Season 3's Earth arc was a really great addition to the story, because it gives us a chance to see this version of Earth and grow to have a bond with the characters there. Because I really do feel if we did not have the gang hanging out with Anne's parents and making friends on Earth, then we would not have seen Andrias and the Core as the threat that they were, because we would not have cared about Earth as much. And it gave us the cutest Polly outfit in the show, so I might be a little bit biased. But now I want to talk about my one complaint with the show, and it's kind of a big one. And my complaint is Marcy. Now, before anyone thinks I'm crazy, let me explain. I like Marcy as a character, but I don't feel like I know her. We follow Anne for most of the story, so we get to know her the best out of the trio. And Sasha gets a lot of time to shine, whether it be from her few episodes in Season 1, or her multiple appearances in Season 2 and 3. Marcy, on the other hand, there were entire arcs that I forgot she existed as a character. Marcy is supposed to be 1/3 of the human gang, but she shows up for the first time in Season 2. And in Season 2, she only has like a few episodes, and they don't do the best job for fleshing out her character in my opinion. But then the finale comes around, and we get hit with the big reveal. I was really excited because I wanted to see more of her and how the other characters would react to this. But then, she gets stabbed, thrown in a medic tube, and for the first few episodes of Season 3, I forgot she existed. And then when she almost gets rescued by the great General Yunnan, she gets taken over by the Core, which takes away any possibility of me caring for her. It's not until the literal last few episodes of the show that the other characters bring up what she did and talks about her. And then we get to see her living her best life in the Core. And I don't know if I'm crazy, but I feel like with very minimal rewrites, you can remove her from the story and nothing really changes. You can just say that Sasha put Anne up to stealing the box because she thought it looked cool. And you might think I don't like her after hearing me say this, but that's not the case. I want to like her, but I feel like her story really just got shafted. Imagine a world where we got to see an episode of her journey here and there like we did with Sasha. And that way you can introduce King Andrias sooner and set him up as a nice guy so that his eventual betrayal would hit us way harder. Not that I have any problems with King Andrias. I love the character of King Andrias. After he gets the music box, he turns into a genuinely scary antagonist, and I really wanted to see how they were going to take him down now that he had access to such advanced tech. And I do think that his redemption was justified, because it was not really him. It was the Core messing with him ever since he was a prince that drove him down this path that he was on. He seemed like a pretty chill guy when he was younger, until his dad, and by extension the Core, manipulated him into turning on his friends. And by the time he realized what he'd done, it was already too late. That moment that he stands in front of the burning portrait, you can see in the way he looks at it. He knows he's gone too far, but it's past the point of being able to stop. He has nothing and no one, and now the conquest is all that he has left. Okay, but going back to Marcy, I do think that she is the one thing with the show that I thought was kinda not great, because she feels like an afterthought a lot of the time, and I just wish she was focused on more. Now, if anyone even watches this video, you might disagree with some of my points, or with the entire video, and that's okay. I'm not making this video because I want to change people's minds. I'm making this video because I wanted to share my feelings on this wonderfully wacky story that I just watched. Even though the show is not perfect, it's still amazing in every single way. From the story it tells, to the characters you get to see grow and change in all sorts of ways. I'm unbelievably happy I took the time to watch it, because it's something that I'll carry with me for the rest of my life. Amphibia was an absolute pleasure to experience, and if you have not watched it, I believe you're doing yourself a disservice. I really hope that if someone watched the video and made it all the way to the end, that I have been able to accurately show how much I love this show. And if someone is here, I would absolutely love to hear your thoughts on the show, because after all, the whole reason I made this channel is to talk to people about stuff I don't really have anyone to talk about. So yeah, thank you a lot for listening to my opinion, and I hope you have a wonderful day.